Hey guys, Broker Brett here with the Attachment Point News Roundtable, and today we have a special CA to CA episode. I'm out here in California, and to the other CA up in Canada, we got Rick Hyde with Insured Connect. And just before we started recording, we were talking about the the Junior National World Junior Hockey.
World Junior Hockey Tournament. Yeah, it starts Boxing Day.
Cool. Yeah, so a couple days before Christmas, so it sounds like the day after the New Year's, there's a hockey tournament, which I was unaware of. I think I got to chase that down. It sounded phenomenal.
It's the best hockey you can watch, best sport out there, although some folks might disagree with that. And no, it's insanely exciting, and there's a massive Canadian-U.S. rivalry. So
That's cool. No, it sounds fun. It sounds like the chaos of March Madness. I love basketball, but like you can't beat hockey in person. You know, don't get me wrong, NBA game's fun, but the energy like a hockey game. I won King season tickets once. It was so fun. You know, I went to half the games that year. It was a great time. Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm really excited that Steven connected us. So Rick Hyde's the CEO of Tycoon Technology for the past 25 years, then Insured Connect the past 5 years. And I want to bug you about some leadership stuff too. That's a long time, the captain's chair. That's cool. But yeah, so Steven Goldstein had connected us through RGAX, who's on your board. He's a friend of mine, and they're also investors in Fineo, the company that I get to help come to the U.S. from Canada too.
Right.
But yeah, Steve, thanks for joining me today, Rick.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it.
Yeah, so my understanding for Insured Connect is you're getting everybody in-force data, which is super helpful as an agent, waiting on hold, asking for something, trying to prove you're the agent, trying to get the policy number, waiting for an email or a fax is never a good time. How were you guys able to actually get that in-force data out of the carriers?
Well, I mean, we've been doing it for a long, long time, so I think we had some experience on our side, but really was partnering up with distribution. We started partnering with some of the large, very influential distributors, and built out a secure platform to manage the data, and then we kind of approached carrier by carrier, and with the distributors beside us, and they're driving sales, so the carriers tend to listen to them, and then just so happened we had timing on our side, and so there were some things happening in the marketplace and the evolution of insure tech and stuff, so a whole bunch of kind of things came together, and we got the carriers on side, and it's working, it's coming.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I think insurance always has its heart in the right spot, but you're just battling legacy technology, years of way of doing something. You mentioned the secure data piece. Was that a hard one to bridge to get confidence on the carrier side, or on the broker or the client side? How have you guys been able to just make sure the pipes are connected in a way that builds trust too?
Yeah, it's interesting. You go back 5 years, and carriers weren't even thinking about the security around their in-force data. But of course, with all the breaches we've been hearing about in the last few years, it's become a very hot topic. And carriers super risk adverse. I mean, they're in the risk business.
Yeah.
They in order for us to partner with them and work with them, they made security a top priority. So we respected that, and again, we've got some experience in that, and we've all secure connections. All the data is encrypted and locked down, and full audit of how the data is used, and so on and so forth. And we've been 100% transparent with everybody. So we've been able to overcome those issues. It's made it a long journey. Some of those audits with those carriers can take 6-8 months. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
But we're over that hump. And now it's rolling. It's good.
So I always joke, and I want to get better at both, that I'm a C+ technologist and C+ insurance broker. So I have a decent understanding of the tech behind the scenes. But so is it API connections you're working on, or EDI feeds, or is it?
Well, there are some API connections, but I mean we're dealing with massive amounts of data.
Okay.
When we partner with a broker, you could be talking tens of thousands of policies for an individual BGA or distributor, and API connections. We'd be hammering their servers if we were doing that. So we do daily batch feeds.
Okay. Yeah, that's smart.
They'll push a feed to our server end of day. So the broker logs in the next morning, and it's basically all their cash values and everything from the end of the prior day is how we're doing it. Now we can do updates. If at midday they want to do a call and update some data, we can do that. But most of the feeds are batch right now.
No, that makes sense. That's how it is on the P&C side too. I've really enjoyed leaning into the life health side. I sold like 5 life policies last month, which was big. I've really enjoyed helping meet that risk, but I'm definitely kind of on the learning side on that one, which has been fun to kind of see where the tech integrates. But so you've had Insured Connect for the past 5 years, and I saw Tycoon Technology did kind of front office resources for the past 25 years for like banking and insurance.
Yeah, Tycoon's kind of like an e-money advisor
Okay.
in the Canadian
Yeah.
market, and it was going along great until the crash of 2008
Mm,
2009, and since that point in time, independent distribution's been all but gobbled up.
mm,
Our big banks and our big insurance companies bought all these independent broker dealer firms and MGAs, as they're called in Canada on the insurance side. So, we would support these firms with, investment data feeds, banking
mm.
data feeds, insurance data feeds, so really, enable them to take a financial planning approach to supporting their clients. And here's all your
That's
data,
cool.
everything in one place.
Yeah.
But just after a few years of, battling all the consolidation in the market, we decided, let's look south of the border for growth. And we formed Insured Connect because we wanted to
Cool.
position it strategically in the market, partnered up with some distribution and other partners, and decided to really focus on life insurance as a
Hmm.
starting point as well. There's a lot of aggregation in the investment data space and the
Hmm.
banking data space, so we focus on life insurance.
No, I
And
think
we're
that was smart.
expanding into other markets, but
Yeah.
life insurance was our kind of got a foothold in there.
Well, it's such a huge industry. It had been behind, candidly. I think that's phenomenal that you kind of had your learnings there, saw the most valuable piece that you can kind of slot out and kind of come south of the border. I know we had talked previously before doing this a little bit. How important was it to you to have boots on the ground here? I know that you have some local, connected, knowledgeable help as well. You know.
Yeah, there's not a chance we could have done it without their help. Like,
Yeah.
up with a couple of folks out of California there, not far from you, who've been in the insurance business for 30 years, super
Cool.
well respected guys, and helped formulate the strategy, helped kind of do the market research, give us a lot of the credibility that was
Hmm.
required to get going. I mean, there's the number of Canadian tech firms that have tried to open up south of the border. There's gravestones everywhere, right? It's tough to do. So I didn't want to fall into that trap. So
Yeah.
partnered up right away.
I feel freaking fortunate for connecting with Fineo and getting to work with them and having been to Toronto a couple of times, kind of help the guys get connected down here. We're all learning and growing together. I listened to Phil Knight's book Shoe Dog, and he talked about how like each country where they're building a factory, you needed somebody on the ground level that just knew the lay of the land and had the connections, can help you deal with politics, whatever else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been, I don't want to say one of the joys, but it's been great to do, international business and help us start from another country and really go through, from setting up a corp to getting licensed, all the fun kind of back office stuff. And I've got to learn some really fun lessons so far. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of lessons to learn for
Oh
sure.
yeah. It's, I don't know what it is. It's like, it's funny, but the business services almost just feel like taxes you have to pay. As you're going, like, get these other business structures, these licenses, they're almost like cost of doing business, and you're just like setting the table to, be able to proactively do what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, to tell you, coming to the States from Canada, wow, it's insane. I mean, first, most of the regulation is state based, whereas in
Hmm.
Canada it's national. So,
Yeah.
one regulator to deal with and sort of one tax code and so on. The U.S. has been interesting, and
Yeah.
but we even bob a lot to figure things out as we go along. And I'm sure there's still lots of things we're gonna have to sort out down the road. So.
So was your background computer science, or I know, you've been doing Tycoon for 25 years. How'd you get into that? Were you an advisor before or a technologist?
No, it's kind of a funny story. I mean, I was out of school. I'd have always been an entrepreneur.
Cool.
Never actually had a job my entire life.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
my parents might not agree, but
Yeah.
I actually had a company early on out of university, and I exited that business and was looking for something to do. And I actually came across a technology out of MIT.
Mm.
It was a client profiling technology, and they were positioning it as artificial intelligence. And this was back in the early 90s.
Oh, wow.
And it was an insanely cool product. It did a lot of data analytics and a lot of sort of product recommendations for financial advisors. So I actually licensed it for the Canadian market
Oh, cool.
and launched. That's how I kind of launched Tycoon, was
Yeah.
around that base technology. And then it just, the company evolved over the years and so on. And that technology led us into banking data, investment data, insurance data, actually employee benefits and
Oh,
a whole
wow.
bunch of things. And it was pretty cool, but outdated now, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, but you start somewhere and you have lessons learned and you get to parlay those things forward.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then you've been, like you said, entrepreneurial whole journey, president CEO now, people working under you. I mean, I don't want to say any tips, but how have you kind of been able to stay in that seat, take care of people for so long? Any like kind of leadership tips or communication strategies?
Persistency, and the fact that if I didn't stay on the job, nobody would hire me because I don't have a track record of being a good employee. Could be
uh,
two. But, no, I mean, I don't know. I'm, I work hard, definitely. Try to, lead the team that way. I don't.
mhm,
I'm not off, playing at the beach. If anybody's working, I'll be working at the same time. Huge trust thing.
yeah.
I'm really big on trust. We have zero turnover.
Oh
Like
wow.
if there's any turnover, it's for some extended reason.
Yeah, they're
Um,
moving, whatever else, you know.
yeah,
Yeah,
something like that. So a lot of trust, tons of communication. We very open with everybody. Everybody understands the corporate strategy, what we're trying to do,
cool.
what we're trying to achieve. So I wouldn't, I think there's lots of leaders that are one heck of a lot smarter than me, built a lot bigger companies than me, but I kind of do my own thing and it works. It
No,
works.
staying in the game matters. My best friend's dad, like they have like a 200-person machine shop. I'm like, Steve, like we gotta go get a beer sometime, talk about your leadership strategy. He's like, Brett, he's like, I had to borrow money from my employees to stay in business at one point. I don't know if like you want to hear from me, but it's just that humility and like they have a 200-person office. I kind of learned that from them was a trust. Like you can't micromanage.
Yeah,
And then the other trick I always spotted with them was they walked the floor. You know, they knew the guys from bottom to the top. They knew what was going on in everybody's lives. You
yeah,
know, and I
yeah.
just think that garners such a cool, relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find, that's the big difference between leading a company today and maybe, 10, 20 years ago
Hmm.
is like, I know every piece of my operation. I know how
Cool.
it all works. I know every role that, the challenges all the employees are facing.
Yeah.
You can be empathetic to things that they're dealing with and stuff. You can understand workload when they're getting overloaded and stuff like that. But, other than some of the deep tech roles, all of us can, like I could step into most of the roles. And I think that's, you have to be that way nowadays.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my son before this, and he was talking about, Elon Musk and how he will go down to the factory and he'll, work the line some days,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's common for CEOs at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah. Ali Dallas, CEO for Fineo, you kind of feel like he'll spend time with different pods and you can see while he's there, it sort of tightens up. And I've joked with my buddy from the machine shop, like, as much as I don't want to admit it, when I worked at a moving and storage company, when the CEO was around, he sat up a little straighter, he worked a little harder, just kind of
Yeah,
leadership being in the room helps. People want to do their, should be self-reliant too, but it's definitely a plus.
yeah,
Um, so going back to our buddy Steven and RGAX and RGA, it's pretty cool to be a part of like an ecosystem or a group investment like that in our space. Like it's interesting when you get to get their perspective on the whole ecosystem and how it's shifting. I feel like that's a competitive advantage for both of us.
yeah. No, they definitely have their tentacles everywhere.
Yeah.
So, great for market intelligence, what's going on. Also great, they've got a lot of, provide you a lot of advice on process,
Hmm.
connect with a lot of partners and so on. So no, they've been a super partner, and we, we've got a bunch of partners in the space. We're
Cool.
very open to working closely with other folks. It's an
Yeah.
open architecture platform. We're staying in our lane. We're staying very focused on in-force data and want to partner with as many different firms as we can to, create a best of breed sort of overall solution for the industry. But it's really important to work with folks like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a massive industry with so many unique opportunities, and like you can't be it's hard to be a jack of all trades in this line of business. I do appreciate that insurance seems pretty open, from the carriers, from the other brokers, from technologists. I feel like other industries I've been around, there's been a lot more of like kind of a guarded mindset, but I feel like there's such a big opportunity, especially down in the States. There's so many clients, like
Yeah.
people, they'll share knowledge, they'll help you out along the way.
I'll tell you, if you compare Canada to the U.S.,
Yeah.
dealing in the U.S. has been fantastic. I literally, like, I love our customers. I
That's
love
cool.
they're fun to deal with. And there's a lot of challenges dealing with carriers getting things done, for
Yep.
sure. A lot of that's, due to old systems, old processes and stuff like that. But we don't come across very many, call them gatekeepers.
Yep.
Most of the people are trying to figure out how to get things across the finish line. So that's been great. That's
I
been really
think they seem open, and I think you guys came down here with a little bit of gravity momentum. My one thing on the U.S., my own like kind of self critique, I kind of feel like if you're putting money in somebody's pocket or if you have deal flow, by all means, they're there, they're giving you attention. But I feel like it's really hard to get back and forth without activity. I think it's kind of, for me at least so far, it's been like rare partners that have been, willing to help you out from the jump, which is understandable. Everyone's busy, and they have a lot going on. But I'm really happy to hear you've had a good experience.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I have not found that, and we get referrals from people that I had talked to 2 years ago, and they knew we were kind of early stages,
Cool.
and I get a call from somebody say, yeah, I was talking to so and so, and they said I should talk to you guys. I have found it exactly the opposite. I found everybody open, willing to refer business, share ideas. It's been like I said, it's really been a lot of fun.
Dude, that's awesome. That's great to hear. And likewise, yeah, I've enjoyed, working up with everybody up in Canada and just being a part of that system. I joke that like, if it wasn't for, how the money looked or how you referred to the bathroom, you really couldn't tell if you're in one country or the other, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
then, oh, sorry.
It's a little colder up here right now, but
Yeah.
aside from that, yeah.
I feel bad, like, working with the guys out of Toronto, I never want to mention the weather. They'll talk about rain and what's going on. And I just sit here kind of quietly, like, yeah.
Yeah. I hear you.
But yeah, no, and I've loved Toronto too. I joke that it's almost like London and LA had a baby. You kind of have that little ethnic sort of sprawl in a way that I love. I'm half Mexican, grew up on the edge of LA County, but you
Yeah.
kind of have that sophistication of like London too. Definitely feels like a good financial district. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
just
no, it is a fun city for sure.
oh yeah, that's good stuff. But yeah, no, Rick, I appreciate you rapping today. We'll have to do some more of these. We'll have to do some more cross-border chats and
Yeah.
figure out how to help companies go back and forth and make things happen.
Yeah, no, I would love to, and no, appreciate your time. I guess
And
you'll be heading out to hit the surf. I'm going to head out to skate on the lake. So
oh, perfect. And then I'll put your company in the show notes. I'll have it on YouTube
okay.
for us, and then people can track you down on LinkedIn as well, probably.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'll put all those things out. But yeah, thanks again. We'll catch you next time.
awesome. Take care.
Thanks, Rick.